7 from Power 102 Digital.
It is Friday, 22nd March, 2024. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. This is news to 6 a.m. on News Power Digital. Police Commissioner Earl Hereward Christopher says the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is in control in Trinidad and Tobago, despite what she described as a surge in murders throughout TNT, which she said has been fueled by a widespread fear and anxiety in our community. She made the statement while speaking at the police media briefing yesterday, Thursday. The top cop said, "We want to assure the public that the police are in control. We are able to control the increase in violent crime." She attributed the problem to the prevalence of drugs and guns and noted police have seized more than 100 guns in the year already and almost 3,000 in the last 4 years. Hereward Christopher added, "For this year, we've already recovered 117 weapons. Over the past 4 years, we've recovered 2,840 firearms with 84,373 rounds of assorted ammunition. For the year so far, we've recovered an additional 117 weapons." The service of Pastor Ian Brown at the Strategic Services Agency is no longer being utilized. Police Commissioner Hereward Christopher told a news briefing yesterday Brown is no longer a Special Reserve Officer. It was revealed that Brown's appointment was requested by the SSA. However, since he's no longer part of the agency, his services will no longer be required. Incident-free is how the Education Ministry described the administration of the Secondary Entrance Assessment Exam 2024. It says yesterday, Thursday, the SCA was conducted at 548 centers across Trinidad and Tobago. Dr. Nian Gatsby-Dolly expressed satisfaction with the administration and security measures, which led to the efficient execution of the examination, and commends all stakeholders for their active involvement. Meantime, the Education Ministry also continues to support special education needs students across the provision of concessions. This year, 447 students received concessions in Trinidad and 21 in Tobago. Oncology drugs are available in TNT, and there is no shortage of chemotherapy infusion pharmaceuticals, inclusive of those used for breast and prostate cancer, as alleged. The update given by the Ministry of Health as responding to concerned statements made by Dr. Asante DeBla before the Joint Select Committee of Public Services and Administration on Wednesday. Meanwhile, TNT's public health care system also provides free chemotherapy and radiotherapy at patients at the Cancer Center in TNT, formerly the St. James Oncology Center. UNC member and Mearu MP Rushton Power is stepping out after months of speculation about his aspirations for the UNC leadership. He made a strong call for his colleagues at parliamentary, local government, and all party levels to join him in a call for the party to hold national executive elections in June. Parry said, "I've been asked by a wide cross-section of members to make this statement." He said he's made the call again and calling on all colleagues to join him in this call to uphold the highest tenets of democracy and call for internal UNC elections this coming June. His team includes senior activists, councillors, former opposition leaders, office employees, and former corporation heads still active in his area. Parry said, "A few MPs have already indicated their support, including one MP, Rodney Charles." He will speak on the issue more at a media briefing to be held at the Couva Chamber of Commerce Hall later today. And finally, the U.S. has filed a landmark lawsuit against Apple, which accuses the tech giants of monopolizing the smartphone market and crushing competition. In the lawsuit, the Justice Department alleges the company used its control of the iPhone to illegally limit its competitors and consumer options. In the statement, Attorney General Merrick Garland said the company undermines apps, products, and services that would otherwise make users less reliant on the iPhone. And that is news to 6 a.m. right here on News Power Digital. We'll have major news coming your way at 7. Good morning.
Six and a half minutes after the hour of 6 o'clock on this, the 22nd day of March. It is the 22nd day of March. School is pretty much out for the Easter break. So there's a lot less traffic. Of course, on the show this morning, Phil Caston, you just heard from Super Roti. We call him Super Paul as well. Dr. Paul Richards. We'll hear from Wendell, Stephen, Richard Ragoobarsingh. We got Ruben and we got Shane in the mix. My name is Steve Khan. Quickly, just get into a couple of things. It is 23 degrees at Piarco International Airport, 24 in Crown Point in Tobago. It is a nice, cool morning. Traffic-wise, I have nothing to tell you about. A little volume by Charlieville heading northbound, but that's it. Nothing else to tell you about. East, west, north, and south. All right? Before I get into my hellos, those who sent us messages, let's say good morning to Super Paul.
Morning, Steve. Good morning, everyone. It's Friday morning.
Yeah, it is Friday. Oh, I was so want to say that again. It's Friday. It's been the longest week of the year. This week has been a very long week. So good morning to you, Paul. I hope all is well.
Yes. Yeah.
Delayed reaction there. All right. Let's use that as hellos first thing this morning via YouTube and on Facebook. And let's see. Let me just check to see if I have any on WhatsApp. Yeah, I got one. So let's say good morning going out to DJ Ray out in Tampa, Oliver Man Warren, Wayne B in Covington, Georgia, Wendy and James out in San Juan, Ewart Rajpaul, Slick Money Grip, D. Pierre CJ out in New York, got Silly in Valencia, Ray out in West Palm Beach, Florida, Boy Bedesi out in Davie, boy, we will fall out, huh? Maria Celia, Aisasha out in London, John Cato, good morning to you. Carol Guevara, Mo Gaines out in Aruca, Gloria Gray, Rena Budu Jennings, Patricia DeFore, good morning. Michael Robinson out in Yokohama, Japan. Nasser Mohammed, good morning to you. I got a couple of WhatsApp. I got Alistair Hart, good morning. And I've got Sankofa. Good morning to you as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Anthony Miguel, you just snuck in out in Brooklyn. Good morning. Wendell Stephen, who just snuck in as well. Good morning to you, my friend.
Morning, Steve. Morning, Paul. Good morning, Richard. And good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, all listeners internationally and abroad. All right. It's a beautiful Friday morning. It's dusty, it's hazy, it's dry, it's hot. And this weekend is going to be very hot.
It's cool. It's 23 degrees. It's nice and cool this morning.
Where?
Don't mind. Inside of here, you can hang meat. It is cold. Oh, yeah. In here, it's cold this morning.
All right. We're here. We're happy to be in the land of the living. Condolences to those who would have lost loved ones, including Lisa Morris Julian, who is doing a fine job. She and her siblings doing a fine job celebrating their father. I mean, I've been learning so much about the father since because I attended the wake again last night. Last night was like a concert. It was parang, it was music, it was really enjoyable, and I like that part about wakes now, that people could celebrate the person that died, because apparently he was a real limer. Lisa said something that he used to say all the time. Ashton Ford, I saw there too last night, and Ashton say, he knew him so well, but it was really nice. And there was a lot of people there last night, endless people there last night, including the MP for Port of Spain South and the Mayor of Port of Spain. They both were there giving Lisa some support last night. All right, so it was really nice, really, really nice. I hope when people get a chance to celebrate me, they do just as good a job as Lisa and her siblings doing for their dad.
Of course, we shut down all double palm for the week.
Yeah. Everybody, they could close doors as a mark of respect. I don't
Free
know, but they had
service, free service.
or they could give everybody a free weekend,
In
No.
honor of Wendell, yes.
And as I said, I'm donating my body to science, where people won't have to take those blue pills anymore. They'll take a Wendell.
Oh, Lord. I'm not going to say a word when it comes to that.
We'll name it a Wendell. So they could just say, hey, give me a Wendell day. And they will have absolute joy and fun. They'll go all
The school is out. SEA is over.
Yeah.
So, and results will be coming out in the first week in July.
Is that when the results?
Trigger alert, Wendell.
Sorry?
Trigger alert. I have a video to play for you.
Really?
But before I get to that, let me just
frightened dad.
say, well, what has happened? Well, yes, Steve spoke about the SCA yesterday. Seems like it went pretty smoothly.
It seems that way.
And as I said yesterday, I'm not surprised the Ministry of Health has responded to the comments of Dr. Santi Nabla. They said there is no shortage of chemotherapy infusion pharmaceuticals. Well, that's not what people are telling us when we go about in the town hall meetings. Okay?
No.
That's not what the public is telling the committee at all. So,
yeah, I was reminded to bring up my story, which I did not yesterday morning when we had our interview with Dr. LeBlanc, especially when it comes to cancer patients. When my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer at stage 4, and she did a mastectomy and she did a chemotherapy, and we had to sit down and wait for the radiation. Unfortunately, a buddy of ours was in transit, who was a doctor, and said, well, bring your files, let's take a look at it, and let me see what I can do in getting radiation. And I remember that was a Thursday evening. And he went back up on Friday, and Saturday morning, he called and said, listen, I got your appointment with Dr. So-and-so, but you need to be here on Monday morning. No cost, It's all no cost. So we did that. And my mom had 31 treatments of radiation. At 3 weeks, her skin didn't even burn. And the doctor was a bit concerned about that. As soon as he said that, the skin decided to burn. We arrived here, and 3 months after, I got a call that we've been approved for radiation. 10 treatments of radiation. Now, I remember asking the doctor out in Florida about the radiation and the amount of treatments that they need to get. And he said it all varies. But talking to some doctors here, they said that's it. They're so overwhelmed that they just give you radiation. In my point of view, they're just doing radiation for radiation's sake. Because
you can't say that, Steve. Nobody's going to do radiation for radiation's sake in a medical environment.
Paul, I am saying
nobody's going to just give a patient radiation for radiation's sake. Radiation has to be part of one of the options available.
Paul, I am telling you, and I did my research on it. And I even spoke to a few doctors during that time. They can't tell you doing 10 treatments. She had 31. At 10, you're not doing anything. You're just touching the tip of it, and that's it. I was really upset about that. Really
remember everybody
the staffing of the oncology center was just a icing on top of the cake.
Yeah. Everybody responds differently to treatment. I have had very little experience with cancer in terms of people. I mean, I know Darian had cancer, and his he was down and out, I telling you, and I saw a miraculous recovery with Darian.
Yeah.
And then, of course, my sister who died 2 years ago. She had cancer. Well, she didn't even get to start treatment. She was due to start that same week, and she died. You know, she just gave up. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody responds differently. I didn't hear your interview yesterday, though, so I'm not aware of what happened. You know, but I know that name, Dr. LeBlanc. I listen to her doing a radio program from time to time. You know.
Yeah.
Rushton Parry is stepping out frontally.
So?
Rushton Parry.
I think he's a press conference.
Yes, he is.
He's coming out now. He's been kind of tiptoeing through the tulips before.
Mm-hmm.
Regarding his aspirations for UNC leadership. Well, now he's made a strong call for his colleagues at parliamentary, local government, and party levels to join him in the call for the UNC to hold their NATEX elections due in June. He said, quote, "I've been asked by a wide cross-section of membership to make a statement on this. One person has already jumped out. No surprise. Guess who?"
Against him?
No, in support of his call.
In support of him, okay. Somebody in the parliament with him too?
Somebody who has nothing to lose.
Fuad Khan.
Rodney
Yeah.
Charles.
Rodney Charles.
Yep, I thought so. I haven't seen Rodney Charles, but I just figured it was Rodney Charles he was talking about.
He had nothing to lose. He doesn't turn line again.
Because remember, Mrs. Posad Bissessar called a press conference. We spoke about it on Wednesday, and he was conspicuously absent. And he was in the parliament, sitting next to her that day, snickering when she said she didn't own any property. And after that, they called a press conference. He was surrounded by all the MPs except Rodney Charles.
We shall see.
We shall see.
Time will tell.
Take a breath, Wendell.
Press conference.
Take a breath, okay? TTPS held a press conference yesterday. So let me share two excerpts that I've conjoined for your convenience this morning. Take a breath, right?
Yeah, I know. It was painful to watch it.
Good afternoon to members of the media, and good afternoon to our viewing and listening audience. As the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service streams live on our Facebook page, our weekly press brief for today, Thursday, the 21st of March, 2023. I am Inspector Michelle Lewis, Public Information Officer. Welcome. The TTPS team on today's press briefing is headed by the Commissioner of Police, Ma'am Erla Christopher, and supported by Deputy Commissioner of Police Admin Operations, Mr. Junior Benjamin, Assistant Commissioner of Police Criminal Division, Mrs. Vina Butler, and Senior Superintendent of the Homicide Bureau of Investigations, Mr. Rishi Singh. I now hand over to the Commissioner of Police, Ma'am Christopher.
Thank you so very much, Inspector Lewis. Members of the media, viewing and listening public, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Over the past 3 weeks, we would have experienced a surge in our murder, in our homicides, and we have recognized that this has fueled a widespread fear and anxiety in our communities. We want today to assure the public that the police, we are in control and we are able to control the increase in the violent crime. We have noted that the firearms continue to be the weapon of choice. Our problem is caused by the prevalence of drugs, guns, and gangs. For this year already, we have recovered 117 weapons. Over the past 4 years, we would have recovered 2,848 firearms. with 84,373 rounds of assorted ammunition. For the year so far, we have recovered, in addition to the 117 weapons, 1,430 rounds of ammunition. Firearms continue to be impacting the violent crime. So this afternoon, in our effort to reassure you, the public, on my team, I have Senior Superintendent Rishi Singh, who will update on the homicide investigations. Assistant Commissioner Vina Butler, who is responsible for crime, will update the nation on what has been happening with regards to the management of violent crime. And my new Deputy Commissioner Operations, who will advise on our anti-crime operations throughout the districts. So I will now pass over to
this investigation. What exactly is this outside help?
Mr. Levin. The investigations with the SSA is ongoing, and this afternoon I will prefer not engage in any discussion concerning. That's all. You hearing me? Okay. The investigations with the SSA is ongoing, and this afternoon, Mr. Event, I will rather not engage in any discussion concerning the SSA investigation.
Fair enough. General question, what is the process for removing someone who was appointed an SRP from being an SRP? Someone who did not go through the regular process of becoming an SRP. What is the process to remove said person?
Can you explain further what you need? What exactly are you asking?
Specifically, Pastor Brown, who was appointed an SRP under former Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith in, I think it was year before, 2021, I believe it was. He is still, as far as I understand, an active member of the TTPS by his appointment as an SRP. What I'm asking is, has that changed, one, and two, what is the process in removing someone of that caliber? Because I understand he did not go through the regular 5-6 week training process. What is the process in removing someone of that particular, I don't know how to say it, the special way in this person was appointed SRP status?
Okay. Mr. Brown is no longer a special reserve officer. His appointment was requested by the SSA. He no longer being a member of the SSA, there's no longer any reason for him to maintain his status as a special reserve officer.
Forgive me, one, just need to clarify something here. So technically not another question. When did this happen? And the last information we had is that he still had access to his firearm, which was issued by the TTPS, as well as his identification card. When was this removal?
Oh, that was recent. That would have been on Tuesday past.
Right. So that was those were the main things coming out of the police presser yesterday. In addition to the information about the guns and ammunition they would have seized in the last year and as of this year, which includes 3,000 in the last 4 years and 117 for 2024. So far, she looked really pretty.
She is.
She's a very attractive woman.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it again, because they blame me and say rough, but she needs to take a communication course.
Yeah, I don't know that could be fixed at this stage.
No, it can be fixed. It can actually be fixed because I've trained people who were worse communicators than that. She needs to take a proper communication course. And
they need to put up a teleprompter in front of her.
well,
Yeah, you understand?
no,
Don't have her bowing down to read.
a teleprompter makes it worse sometimes because sometimes it's a press conference, a live press conference, and questions that may be asked by the media may not be, the answer may not be in the teleprompter.
I'm not speaking about that part, because that part you can't teleprompt that part. But I'm speaking about the bending down, bending over to read. She probably
that's where she needs training. Yeah. She clearly needs training. I've suggested it on more than one occasion. She needs training. It doesn't come naturally to everyone, but with training, I have trained people who were more nervous and more anxious and fidgety than that. What she's going through there is self-doubt and wondering what people are thinking about her. So it's clouding her ability to collate her thoughts and deliver them confidently. And that is going to make a big difference in her delivery and how people perceive her. And that's what she needs to do. But breaking stick in is she needs to do a communication course, a presentation course. That's what it is. It's not she doesn't have the information, you know. She has the information, you know.
Yeah, I know.
The information is available to her. It's just how she delivers the information is not very convincing.
Well, I'm almost certain that this was conveyed to her from the very beginning.
On many occasions.
Yeah.
There are people who are close, working closely with her. Yeah. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you, she needs, but if she wants to continue in that stead, good.
Yeah, I just think she's, well, maybe she just doesn't want to do it because, as I say, I'm sure it would have been suggested from the very beginning, you know, and she's been there more than a year.
So, well, yeah, because the other year comes up in May, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah. Good morning, Arena.
No, but you're right. You're right about that. But again, as I say, maybe she just is not interested in it. You know.
Good morning, Arena. And that is. There's nothing bad about the commissioner. You know? Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Just jump out yourself and go crazy.
Yeah, you're not seeing who there?
Yeah, I see in the belly.
Yeah, you're seeing the belly that he dropped off breakfast. Would you believe?
Oh, that's very nice of him.
Thank you so much, Richie Rich. You're most welcome, Steve.
Richard is in the building.
Richard is in the building.
He's in transit, so that's very nice of him.
Okay.
He's going to transfer now.
Is he doing the program from there?
No, he's going to just have breakfast for me. Thank you so much, Richie Rich. You're so kind.
Okay.
Yeah. And apparently you could say we were Guy Griffith and McDonald Jacob, but don't say nothing about Ella.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah. She's nervous. She could see the nervousness in her.
It's anxious, and I said, she clearly had all the information that was needed at her disposal. She knows the information. I have no doubt she knows the information. She called the press conference. She came with the information that the media would need.
Yeah.
You understand? But it is about delivery in many cases. Not everybody's a good presenter or has it naturally.
That's a fact.
But it can be learned. It can be learned.
Yeah.
You hear that, Rena? It can be learned. Yeah. But the other information that one of the journalists asked is about Pastor Brown, who's no longer an SRP now.
Yeah, he was fired. Is that I don't think I've heard anybody being removed from a position like that for a while in the TTPS.
Yeah. Well, she said that since he's no longer part of the SSA, which was the reason he was co-opted in the first place. And that's reasonable. There's no reason to keep him on, particularly in light of the controversy. And they ain't going to raid a SRP house and leave him in the service.
True, exactly.
You understand?
Yes.
In his words, 70 to 100 police go and raid and this and that and the other. You know. The other bit of information that'll be the subject of our question later on this morning. She said the police are in control. She said the police are in control. She said the TTPS is in control in Trinidad and Tobago, despite what she described as a surge in murders throughout TNT, which in her words, open quotation, fueled a widespread fear and anxiety in the community, end quote. We want to assure the public that the police, we are in control, and we are able to control the increase in violent crime. Now, to be fair, I see people jump out online last night and ball, but already didn't do nothing about the half-place murders. What could the police have done about that?
Yeah.
Really? What could any police officer have been able to do about a criminally intended person who clearly sick and has no regard for human life, who will decide to enter a community space and spray bullet? The only thing the police do, and it's a stupid
respond.
comment.
Yeah, it's respond. All they could have done
and or work effectively to get those people off the streets.
Yeah.
So they can do it. Yeah. But what could the police have done regarding that? You understand? So those kind of comments, I think, just don't make any sense.
You know, it's par for the course though, because people have made those comments concerning almost all the murders that we've had. Where were the police? Where were they? You know, and people always make comparisons during the carnival time with the amount of police that we see. You know what I mean? And what happens post carnival. You know, so the police have a tough job, but again, as I said, they have to be led. They have to be led.
Watch Morgan's question. Morgan's like Bacchanal.
Well, for today, do you think this viral video on 102 caused the pastor to be fired? Well, the pastor caused himself to be fired, if you know what I mean. The pastor is the one who confessed.
Watch Rhea looking for backup. Watch.
And here who she calling. She was in the wake last night. Mrs. R. She was in the wake last night. She gave me a message for a particular person, but I ain't seen it online. I'll have to send that message to that person personally.
What the police can do more effectively, and they reference it at the press conference, is one of the female was she at the DCP?
ACP, Ms. Vina Butler.
Yeah, she's ACP Vina Butler. She said she was stressing actually that she stressed it was a few miscreants. And she said a few in their opinion.
Yeah.
So if it is a few, you know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? You know who they are. You have a clear idea of who most of them would be.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And so, what is the issue? Taking him off the street.
Mr. Benjamin didn't speak at all, did he? I know I saw Mr. Singh spoke. I met him actually, at the Oval in cricket. Rishi Singh, who's the head of homicide. And but I don't know if Mr. Benjamin, the new DCP, if he spoke at all. I'm not sure. No, I don't think so.
Butler
spoke and Mr. Singh spoke. I'm not sure if Mr. Benjamin spoke.
Yeah, and what's her name? Vina
Butler, yes.
Vina Butler spoke. And of course the commissioner spoke.
Yeah.
And your lovely spoke.
Well, she was the hostess. She was she did a better job. She did a better job this time. I don't know why she continues to call the commissioner ma'am Ula. I told her about that.
It's not like police talk.
It is, but you don't do it at a press conference.
I think that's what they operate in closed doors, man.
So you didn't say Ma'am Vina Butler.
Well, the ascribing of that, it's a kind of respect.
It's a senior, they refer to the seniors as ma'am.
Yeah, exactly. So probably, she's actually good, yeah. She has a nice voice. Yeah. Another attractive police officer. They bring back memories for you. They like uniform. Sit down there. I tell you to move. Hey, Steve. Imagine Wendell home. License and insurance.
Yeah.
I tell you where your license and insurance. Watch it.
After years of interrogation, I know.
I still want to laugh at.
Lights and insurance. Don't let me pull out the handcuffs here. Oh yeah, Wendell. Please pull them out. Please pull them out.
Woo. When they say no longer telling you to do that.
Do let me pull out the handcuffs today.
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
Anyway, so that'll be the subject of our question later on this
hold
morning.
on. Before I saw a name was dropped in that too. I heard a name was dropped.
Where? The name was dropped where?
Well, no, part of the name. She took out part of her name.
No, she never carried it in the service.
Oh, really? Okay.
She never carried it in the service. Never.
All right.
So when they used to get search and thing,
I still do.
you used to get strip search.
I still do.
You used to get brace?
Listen.
Hands against the wall.
Well, you come off of me now. I seen a bacchanal brewing here. What is this what Gregory Lindsay is saying? Minister has shares in Pantrin Bigo's head office. What is that story about?
Let's not repeat it if we can't independently verify it, please.
Well, they didn't say which minister.
Yeah, you see the source, right?
Yeah.
Right. Do you know the source?
All right, yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now right here, be careful where you quote it.
Mr. What you doing about the hurricane? What's this? What was this? What was the question?
Is it him?
Yes.
Or the news agency?
That is his news agency, but he was the one who asked the question.
That's not prior?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think he's done a good job with that online source.
But he was the one who asked the question to the Prime Minister about it.
Sometimes it's be a little off, but which one of the news outlets is not skewed in one way or the other? I mean, they tell us we skewed all the time. So, you understand? Par for the course. One time, on top. There we go.
Yeah, and Ian Joseph is making a point that that's why the person was brought to that press conference, to hold them accountable, because I've never seen Superintendent Rishi Singh at a press conference before. And he's been the head of homicide for a while now.
They give some good stats. Good morning again, Richard.
Hi, good morning, guys, and good morning to
Hi, Rich.
listeners and viewers, wherever you are.
Your office has better acoustics than home. So the mansion's so large, so expansive that it's down.
You know how high up the office is? He way above everybody.
I know. It's about 17 stories up.
First of all, are you all assuming that I'm in my office?
But you have to be if you're in Portersville.
We know you're in your office. No,
you
don't know where else I can go in Portersville.
Smoky and Butty and Oakmont.
Good morning, Mrs. Zara. Good morning, Mrs. Zara. You don't know. Hear this interesting bit of trivia.
Assuming.
Olympic organizers in Paris have ordered 300,000 condoms for athletes at the upcoming games in July and August.
What game
do you know?
July, August?
Olympics
is this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Paris?
Right after the Cricket World Cup, which starts on June 1st and runs for the entire month of June.
100,000. Do you know that if you talk to any athlete or most athletes, let me say, they will tell you that sex between athletes is a big thing for Olympians.
Yeah.
And you have a barbecue.
It inspires a lot of them.
But I think most of them in great shape.
Mm-hmm.
They're meeting people from all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a ball. You know where that used to happen to?
Tell us, Paul.
Carrie Fester.
In Parliament? In where?
Good one.
Oh.
Well.
Yeah, it is Friday.
I've heard about a parliamentarian or four. Engaging in communal activities.
They worse than athletes went down.
But there's bring their own condoms are here.
No, but if you tell yourself you tell yourself you're going or you're going to an Olympics, you ain't stand a chance. You're on the team, but you know you ain't stand a chance of winning a medal. You might as well win something else.
Carrie Fester also, when Caribbean countries come to whatever location,
Okay.
And they spend the week or the 2 weeks, showing off the art and the craft. I heard there's a big scene too.
But it was a big thing for some West Indian cricketers too, you know. Viv Richards was known to have fathered children elsewhere in the world. This guy, he had like a sickness. I mean, he admitted it. He was a fast bowler for West Indies. Oh, what's his name?
No pun intended.
Yeah, no, but yeah, true. Oh goodness, what is his name? He was very erratic as a bowler. And I think he wrote a book and admitted that he everywhere he went, he used to go out in the night and just find women and whatnot. Oh, what is his name? Somebody message me that name now. He does commentary now sometimes.
Well, to be fair, high-end or high-performing or high-profile sportsmen or women do have to try.
True, eh? True. They just have to be known as part of some team.
Exactly. High profile and high performing sportsmen.
Tino Best. Thanks, Terence Brown. That's his name. Tino Best.
Terence, are you on top of it, boy? Where?
Yeah. Thanks for the name. I couldn't remember his name. Tino Best.
Yeah. So, and there's some other story in Ozempic I wanted to share, but I'm not finding it now. Are you all following the Ozempic stories?
Ozempic, no. as in the is not a drug for something?
Yeah, for weight loss. Well, for something else, but it's very effective in weight loss. And there's a video I contemplated sharing, because it's gone viral on social media. I mean, viral.
Oh, I ain't get out.
It's kind of bizarre. It's tasteless in some people's minds, of a pair of a woman with her breasts exposed, feeding puppies. I was going to play it in the back, it'll turn off so much people. And putting the puppies to her nipples, and she's clearly lactating, and the puppies are drinking milk from her breasts.
What is that?
It's gone viral.
A woman?
I'll send it to you offline.
But how could you even contemplate?
So
isn't that some sort of animal abuse?
But she's feeding them, and then people were posting, we drink cow milk.
And goat milk.
Wow. Morning,
but to do it and post it is the issue. Eh? Her face is not visible. But people do the strangest thing on social media and digital media. It is bizarre. And before we head to the US government has taken Apple Incorporated to court for monopolizing the smartphone market. They can't beat Samsung, and I'm an Apple person. So they're doing all kind of antitrust things to crush the competition. Apple ain't easy, you know. Good morning, Apple. I presume you have papers, Ragoobarsingh?
Yes, I do.
Could you share them with us, please?
Sure. I'll start with the news day. And of course, today is Friday, March 22nd, 2024. Is today World Water Day? I think it is.
I believe it is.
On the front page of the news day today, police in control, 124 murders, detection rate at 9%, COP says, Commissioner of Police. Detection rate at 9%. Wasn't the detection rate 14? It went down to 9 now?
No, but they said since last year, including last year's detections or solvents detections, they've gone up to 16%. They're talking about for the January to March 2024. So what you're referencing is last time they were giving it for last year.
Okay. Anyway, 124 murders, detection rate 9%, COP says. Police in control. The main picture is that over 18,000 sit SCA. Dundee family and friends celebrate with students at St. Gabriel's RSC school after they wrote SCA exams on Thursday. That's the main picture. Spy pastor fired as SRP. That's also one of the trending stories on the front page of the Newsday this morning. On the back page, pride out in front after day 2. Red Force in search of runs. And Red Force divas edge windwards by 2 wickets, believe it or not. And of course, moving on to the Daily Express for today. And the front page, Pastor Brown stripped.
earlier, he's no longer a member of the SSA. There is no longer any reason for him to maintain his status as an SRP officer. It's so curious how religion has merged with the national security infrastructure in such a tangible way, including the Commissioner of Police.
Just before you continue, somebody said something on the chat that we probably responsible for him getting stripped. More gains. And the commissioner said last week, Tuesday, is when he was stripped. When did we interview him? Not last week,
Tuesday. Done
Tuesday.
it a week prior.
Not last week, Tuesday.
No, we did it.
The week
She
before
said,
that.
I think Tuesday. This week he was stripped.
No, she said last week. She said recently.
She said last week.
She
But
didn't
that
say
was
it.
exactly the day we interviewed him.
Yeah, that was the day we interviewed him because
That's all you call demanding a mushroom.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's
I said, you want to talk to them, you're talking to he and them. I go deal with you.
So maybe it's a good poll after all.
Let me get the polls now.
Ministry denies cancer drugs shortage in response to Dr. LeBlanc interview with us yesterday. Well, not about the interview with us. I mean, our parents before the JSC. So they deny cancer drugs. Well, they issued 2 press releases.
Well, look, next thing you know, Dr. LeBlanc. Next thing you know, Dr.
Oh,
LeBlanc.
Stop.
Also get stripped.
Don't put it in the universe. Stop, please. Stop. Someone told me this past Tuesday. So
a particular program gets stripped. A particular person gets stripped from a program.
They just
Pastor Brown gets stripped from.
There were lots of furious computer keyboards yesterday.
You all are very, very influenced. So I tell you all that. You all are very influenced.
The Power Breakfast strippers. That's what we had to call ourselves now, the Power Breakfast strippers.
I don't know we all
music. Cue stripper music, yeah.
I'm a private dancer, dancing for money.
Daily Express on the back page. Joy after exam, so it's it's a combination of all sorts of photographs of happy children and parents after SEA. Red Force battling hard against Barbados. That's the front of the back of the Daily Express. The Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for today. Front page: Nikwan faces closure. Former VP owned 21 million.
I work with a man in Senate, and then he $21 million.
Former VP owed $21 million. Files wind up petition. Alleges energy firm has failed to pay up. Investors stand to lose hundreds of millions of dollars.
21 million.
Who was the head of Nikwan?
He's a former VP, David Small.
All right.
SEA relief depictures joy and exhilaration of students. I don't know if they're hugging a parent or a teacher. They have their teacher after the SEA exams yesterday. So full of joy and happiness. It's a lovely picture. TTPS fires pastor at heart of SSA scandal.
Was his FUL also revoked in that story? Did they say?
Well, his police issued firearm, they said.
But didn't he have an FUL?
On the backstage of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, TNT Stickman booked semi-spot. So kudos to them. So that's it for our 3 dailies this morning in Trinidad and Tobago. Now you know.
The Power Breakfast Strippers. I'm a private dancer.
Hey, don't give us a copyright strike, please.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, please. Please. All right. While we come up with our morning poll,
public domain of royalty-free stripper music.
Yeah. Let me give you the results of our poll from yesterday. Yesterday, we asked you, do you think the state should do more to stop unqualified persons from making false claims in the healthcare sector? That was our poll yesterday. Results are in. 100%. Everyone said yes. All right. And that's our poll on the screen for those on YouTube and Facebook. All right. So let me tell you what it is. Our morning poll. Do you think the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is in control, as Commissioner of Police Earl Haywood Christopher stated yesterday? Do you think the TDPS is in control? 222-8255, toll-free North Americans, 866-525-1099 on WhatsApp at 318-1021, Facebook and YouTube. Good morning, Dan Raj and Val. Good morning to you. Got some votes coming in. Anyhow, Miguel says no. All right. Do you think the TDPS is in control, as Commissioner of Police Earl Haywood Christopher stated yesterday? Mo Gaines, no to the poll. Captain Run, no. Slick Money Grip, no. Anthony Franco, no.
That's a new name too, Anthony Franco.
It has a lot of new names this morning.
Thanks for joining what is arguably the best show, breakfast show on radio.
Good morning to Marsha Pollinaire. Good morning to you. Desmond. Long Islander says no. We go down. Adrian Cotto says no. Nemesis says no. CJ New York says no. Julia S. Batiste says no. Do you think the TDPS is in control, as stated by the COP? Carol Joseph, no. Boy Bedesi, not in this earth. Oh, jeez. Von Drayton, no. Let's grab this call. Good morning to you.
Good morning, gentlemen from the Grandi. Let me first say farewell to my cousin, RM, and my answer is no.
All right, Grandy. Thank you
That's
so
a
much.
weird name, RM. Oh, Raymond Morris. Okay, I see where you're going with that.
Guy Small, no. Andre, no. Natural Mystic, good morning, says no. Thank you so much. Michael Robinson, Yokohama, Japan, says no. Anthony Miguel says no.
Anthony Miguel voted already above.
He did?
Yeah. I recorded that already. He voted above. Maybe I didn't call his name. That's why.
Says no. Do you think the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is in control?
222-TALK, 222-8255, North Americans, 866-525-1099, people on the web and the app. You can vote via the messaging platforms, wherever you're streaming us from. And of course, people can also vote via WhatsApp at 868-318-1021. So there you have it.
Good
Do
morning.
you think the TDPS is in control, as COP Earl Haywood Christopher stated
Good morning.
yesterday?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
That is last ago, no.
Thank you. Gloria Gray says no. Pearl Cordes says no. Carl M. Jack, morning to you, Carl. Trini in Boston, no. Lorraine Graham Corby, oh, you're new. Good morning to you. Okay, you need to vote. Royalty Forever, no. Christopher from Boomerang Crew says yes. Cheryl Johnson says no. Colin Jack says yes now. Alistair Hart, no to the poll. Let's see. Eve out in Sugarguana says no. Thank you, Eve. All right. Do you think the TDPS is in control, as Commissioner of Police Earl Christopher stated yesterday? Carol Guevara, sadly, no. Carol has a cute baby picture you sent.
Who's Lauren Graham Corby?
Wayne B says no.
You never see her before?
There's no trolls when you see that. When you see
when you were
troll.
discussing it earlier,
I don't think she's a troll. I think she's entitled to her opinion.
when you were discussing it earlier about what the police could do about Harp Place.
But that's her
and you're
opinion.
right. I said when you were discussing earlier about what could the police have done in Harp Place to prevent those murders.
Yeah,
you're right. The police can't be. You can't be everywhere.
They can't do that. They can't prevent crazy people from doing crazy things. Criminals.
No, but how much is this a critique or not on the intelligence gathering capabilities of the police service about what gangs are up to? Because that's where you have to analyze it from, I think. Because this is a major hit. It's a major hit that would have been discussed in whatever gang circle. So who are you monitoring? Are you monitoring people? Do you have people on the ground? Do you know this hit was about to take place?
The other side of that conversation, Richard, is that you presuming gang people are that organized, and somebody in the police service mentioned it, or criminologists mentioned it. A lot of what is happening now compared to 10 years ago is 10 years ago there was clear leadership in the gangs. Now is everybody for themselves, they're not strippers.
Yep.
And that's a big difference between 10 years ago and now. They had clear the kingpins, as they call them now. Everybody fighting for TAFE and trying to get rank. So some stripper little boy go jump up and do that to get rank without any plan with anybody else. So that's another consideration.
But if you hear the street talk, you hear them saying exactly a version of what you just said there, no, Paul?
Yeah.
If you listen
there's no clear structure in most cases now.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, so it's not like long time when you would have this person and that person as the known kingpin in this area and that area. Now, a lot of the little crazy boys, everybody have a gun and they would pull up and spray and then go back and say, I do that. I better than you. You understand? Yeah. It's not as organized as long ago, and that's why the gang dynamics changes so much now.
Maria Celia says no. Kenny in Harlem says yes.
Rena, you see, we agree sometimes, girl. I don't quite
says no.
I do agree with that. People have the right to the opinion. Once people respect for their opinion, I have no problem with it. You don't have to agree. You can say talking stripping all the time. That's fine. That's your opinion. When you get disrespectful, we will block you.
For sure.
We will block you, and we've done it in the past. And one crawling up on it week by week now, I'm sure you see him. I wouldn't even call him to give him some props. People have the right to their opinion. They'd have to agree. It'd be very boring if everybody agreed all the time. Or agreed all,
Yeah. All right.
I didn't always agree with the handcuffs, but it worked sometimes.
Oh boy. All right. So we have a minute again for our poll. Vote, please. Do you think the TTPS is in control? As Commissioner of Police Earl Haywood Christopher stated yesterday. Wayne out in Ontario, Canada says no.
Terrence
says yes.
He's not been informed that he's been dismissed. Whenever they take your badge and your FUL and your gun, I think you can surmise that you get dismissed. If they take your badge, your ID, or you might have a badge and ID, and your FUL and your weapon, it might mean that we'll call them next week. Don't worry.
Samson says no.
Oh, by the way, Philip Alexander called me yesterday and said he apologized. He did not check his email, and he's right. I usually send an email and a WhatsApp. I did not send the WhatsApp. Nemesis Mr. Pina never called after I blew him out that day.
You know, I would think too that Pastor Brown has a lot more to say now.
But I am still waiting for the release of the envelopes.
Jaron Joseph says no. Desmond says yes. We have a call. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, they are in control.
Yeah, we got your vote. Thank you.
She just voted. This is her first time.
Yeah, she voted before.
No, Steve called her name earlier and I was voting.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That voting, yes. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
So do you think that TTPS is in control, as Commissioner of Police Earl Haywood Christopher stated yesterday? Of course, you can continue to vote during the news, and we'll take on those additional votes for our final preliminary count of the voting at the point that we do it. But of course, you'll be able to continue to vote throughout the weekend. But you can continue to vote because we're going to news shortly because it's 7 a.m. on the dot. So we should be going to news shortly. And during news, you can continue to vote and we'll record them post the news.
Yeah. Paul, you have some homework to do. Could you try to get in touch with Pastor Brown again? He's still a pastor. Has he been removed, stripped from his pastoral duties at the church too?
That would be separate.
The Paul breakfast strippers strikes again.
But Wendell, if he's the head of the church, he going to strip himself? I mean, people strip themselves all the time, but seriously?
Richard, listen, I don't know. I need to stop clicking on some of those crazy videos on Facebook with a lot of those, especially pastors in Africa, all over Africa, and the crazy things they do and say. Paul played a video, I think on Wednesday, of one sailing through the air. He had a harness holding him up, and he's in the church above everybody through the air. This morning, I see one with a pastor raising a man from the dead. The man mouth open constantly. Man mouth ain't closed yet, but he raised him from the dead. He already in the funeral going on. He already in the casket, and the man raised from the dead. I say, Wendell, why am I watching this nonsense?
All right, gentlemen, we got to run into our news. Let's get into it on this, the 22nd day of March. Evie is in.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
The police commissioner says the TTPS is in control despite a surge in murders in Trinidad and Tobago. Pastor Ian Brown no longer part of the SSA, according to Commissioner Earl Haywood Christopher. The Education Ministry says the SEA examination was incident-free, and the Health Ministry assures there's no shortage of cancer treatment drugs. Details in a moment. This is News 2, 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. I'm Avril Sintil-Bab. Good morning. The police commissioner says the TT police service is in control in Trinidad and Tobago. This despite what she described as a surge in murders throughout TNT, which she said has fueled a widespread fear and anxiety in our community. At a police media briefing on Thursday, the top cop assured the public that the police is in control and able to control the increase in the violent crime. She attributed the problem to the prevalence of drugs and guns, but noted that police had seized more than 100 guns for the year already and almost 3,000 in the last 4 years. Haywood Christopher added for this year already they have recovered 117 weapons. Over the past 4 years, they would have recovered 2,840 firearms with 84,373 rounds of assorted ammunition. She said that for the year so far, they recovered, in addition to the 117 weapons, 1,430 rounds of ammunition. The service of Pastor Ian Brown at the Strategic Services Agency is no longer being utilized. This is according to Police Commissioner Earl Christopher Haywood at a news briefing. She said that the appointment was requested by the SSA. However, since he is no longer a part of the agency, his service will no longer be required. Commissioner Haywood Christopher said that the move was carried out on Tuesday.
Mr. Brown is no longer a special reserve officer. His appointment was requested by the SSA. He no longer being a member of the SSA. There's no longer any reason for him to maintain his status as a special reserve officer. Oh, that was recent. That would have been on Tuesday past.
Meanwhile, a surge in the number of murders is being cited due to the prevalence of drugs, guns, and gangs. So far this year, 117 weapons have been seized by the police. In the last 4 years, over 2,000 firearms have been recovered by the service.
Our problem is caused by the prevalence of drugs, guns, and gangs. For this year already, we have recovered 117 weapons. Over the past 4 years, we would have recovered 2,848 firearms with 84,373 rounds of assorted ammunition. For the year so far, we have recovered, in addition to the 117 weapons, 1,430 rounds of ammunition.
Incident-free is how the Education Ministry has described the administration of the Secondary Entrance Assessment 2024 yesterday. It says on Thursday, the secondary entrance assessment was conducted at the 548 centers across Trinidad and Tobago. Dr. Nian Gatsby-Dolly, Minister of Education, expressed satisfaction with the administration and security measures which led to the efficient execution of the examination and commended all stakeholders for their active involvement. This year, a total of 18,246 students were registered to write the SEA examination, comprising 9,170 males and 9,076 females. In Trinidad, 17,248 candidates registered, while 998 candidates registered in Tobago. Students who registered but were unable to write the examination will be offered the opportunity to write the supplemental examination on Thursday, 18th April 2024. Well, the Ministry of Education also continues to support special education needs students through the provision of concessions. This year, 447 students received the concessions in Trinidad and 21 in Tobago. These students were afforded concessions such as extra time, sign language interpretation, large print or braille scripts, preferential seating, and the provision of a writer or a reader. The Ministry of Education expects the SEA 2024 results will be available for viewing or downloading by students and principals from the SEA portal during the first week of July 2024. Further information on the exact date will be released closer to that time. The ministry congratulates all SEA students on the achievement of this important milestone and wishes them a happy and Easter vacation. Oncology drugs are available in Trinidad and Tobago, and there is no shortage of chemotherapy and fusion pharmaceuticals, inclusive of those used for breast and prostate cancer, as alleged. This update was given by the Ministry of Health as it responded to concerns and statements made by Dr. Asante LeBlanc before a joint select committee of Parliament on Social Services and Public Administration on Wednesday. It says, while the ministry takes note of shortages of chemotherapy drugs in other countries, Trinidad and Tobago is not experiencing any shortages at this time. The Drug Advisory Committee is responsible for the registration of all drugs coming into the country, of which Dr. LeBlanc is a sitting member. Members of the DAC are privy to information in this regard. Meanwhile, Trinidad and Tobago's public health care system also provides free chemotherapy and radiation therapy services for patients at the Cancer Center of Trinidad and Tobago, formerly St. James Oncology Center. Additionally, radiation therapy is provided at the Southern Medical Clinic and the Brian Lara Cancer Treatment Center at an annual cost of $40,872,800, according to the Health Ministry. But in relation to drugs for the treatment of cancers, for the period 2021 to 2023, approximately $245,416,000 was expended, and this expenditure is projected to continue for the duration from 2023 to 2025 for all cancer drugs. There is also a drive to vaccinate the population against the human papillomavirus, or HPV, the leading cause of cervical cancer, which saw 167,676 vaccines distributed from 2013 to 2023. The ministry's thrust to vaccinate the population against HPV is ongoing, according to its information. You are listening to news on Power 102 Digital to 7 o'clock. Finally, here's a weather news for the period today till midnight. Trinidad and Tobago, mostly sunny and at times breezy conditions, despite few brief isolated showers. Nighttime will be mostly fair, with a few showers developing after midnight. You can expect a temperature high of 34 degrees Celsius at Piarco International Airport and 32 degrees Celsius at Crown Point in Tobago. Currently, it is 24 degrees Celsius at Piarco and 26 at Crown Point. Recapping your headlines to 7 o'clock, the police commissioner says the TTPS is in control despite surge in murders in Trinidad and Tobago. Pastor Ian Brown no longer a part of the SSA, according to Commissioner Earl Hayward Christopher. The Education Ministry says the SEA examinations was incident-free, and the Health Ministry assures there's no shortage of cancer treatment drugs. I'm Avril Sintil-Bab. That was news to 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. Look out for more news in detail at 12 noon and an update at 8 o'clock this morning. For more details, log on to power102fm.com.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
All right, thank you so much, Avril, for our major news. Of course, you can join her again. Come in 8 o'clock for our news brief, and then at noon with Sir Charles for major news. All right. Quickly, let's see if there's traffic. School is out, so you know traffic is going to be light, and it is indeed. Nothing to tell you about in San Fernando. Rivulet Road is moving. The Solo/Uriah Butler Highway, just a little bit by the construction site by Chase Village, you got some, but no problems there at all. Valencia Stretch got a little thing. Trin City towards Orange Grove, you've got traffic, and then the interchange of Port of Spain, you've got some. Eastern Main Road, it is moving, usual stop and goes. Out of Maraval, out of Digo, nothing. All right, so let us see if we have any more votes here. Let's see.
You have 4 more since you have 5 more.
All right, so we've got Lennon Roberts saying yes. Alan Reese saying no. NASA voted already. Beauty Culture said no. Cheryl Henry says no. Joe Sam says no. Maria Celia says no.
Where you have that, Celia?
After CJ. Let's check WhatsApp. I've got Sexy San Fernando. Sexy San Fernando says no to the poll. Of course, I will tell you about what's happening with at Naprima Bowl come this evening, 7 o'clock. It is Naps Combined Steel Orchestra One Love Concert, Naprima Bowl, 7 o'clock this evening. All right, so check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing on WhatsApp. And double checking, Lennon. Okay, that's it.
All right, so our poll question this morning was, or is, do you think the TTPS is in control, as Commissioner of Police Earl Hayward Christopher stated yesterday? We had lots of votes on this one this morning. 45 I counted in total. I don't know if Richard has a different number, but I have 40 people saying no and 5 saying yes. 40 saying no, 5 saying yes. And what Harper messaged me is that there is a stationary police patrol placed at Oxford and Observatory Street. That morning, however, they were not there. So I think that's why people were up in arms about the police not being responsive or whatever. Because the police patrol that is normally there was not there that particular morning. I don't know. That might be a separate investigation, yes? Yes, yes, Adandi.
I agree. My results coincide with yours, Wendell.
It does? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
First time ever.
Fast and Furious. You were paying attention in class today. That's very good, Richard. So 40 said no, they are not in control. 5 said yes. One person had a proviso, though. He said yes, but not in full control. I don't know what I mean, Lennon. You're either in control or you're not. But clearly, the TTPS has a lot of work cut out for them. Some of these things they cannot avoid. They cannot be where people think they should be. You understand? what matters at the end of the day is the investigations into the incident and the arrest and conviction of people. Well, not conviction, because they're not responsible for the conviction part, right? But the arrest of people, the detaining and the arrest of people, right? See how swift they move with Pastor Brown? 2 minutes after our interview, stripped. You understand? That's I don't know if for sure if it's 2 minutes, guys, but I'm just saying, if he was stripped last week, Tuesday, that was the same day we interviewed him. Okay? If we have to believe what the commissioner of police said. Right? So, and that's why I jokingly rechristened our show instead of the PB Power Breakfast Show, the S, we're changing it to Power Breakfast Strippers. Next on the chopping block, ALB.
ALB. Yeah, no, who's ALB?
Try to figure out what that is. Belated birthday greetings to Philomena Ali. I know she listens to us. She messages us from her birthday was yesterday. And she also had a son do SEA yesterday. So best of luck to Jeremiah and belated birthday greetings, Philomena. I'm sure I'll see you today.
Andrew says you need to get onto the group captain to determine if he is or was a member of the church and authorize the use of regiment equipment. We don't know.
Who's that group captain? That's somebody named Weeks, I think.
Apparently, or potentially. Best said, Major Roger Best said he did not authorize regiment equipment to be working on the land, which is confusing to me.
But why? How could he authorize it?
But if regiment, he may not have authorized it. I agree with that. But they should have asked him if he was aware of it.
Exactly.
Yes, okay, they didn't authorize it. Well, you're aware of it. And if you were aware of it and did nothing to stop it, you sanctioned it. Sometimes the media don't ask the right questions, you know. You need to learn to probe deeper.
I've been to that site in Kumutu before, you know. As a matter of fact, when the blimp was in operation, the airship, we all went to Kumutu. There was a media exposure of the blimp. I remember several media houses were there, and they took us up in the blimp in teams. Myself, Darian, and Shala Rampasad from TV6. She was at TV6 at the time. The three of us were the ones on that particular ride. And that was an amazing piece of machinery. I have to tell you all that.
Yeah. What did inside the cabin look like?
It was a big open space with controls and so on. It's like it was an interesting thing, but I mean you're hovering, this big white thing hovering over you, you know, that would take it around. You know, but really it was like a control room inside of there.
With, I guess, surveillance equipment.
Yes.
Because my understanding was that it had equipment at that time, and about 20 years ago, no so?
Yeah.
If and when it floated over your house, it could literally see, my understanding is, through whatever equipment they had.
See through your window.
Wendell went into it, so you know.
But they didn't show us, they didn't expose us to that. We didn't get to look inside of nobody's window. If that's what you're asking.
I think Minister Dayal is very upset.
Minister Dayal.
Yeah, I'll just get a message. If you see the message.
Okay.
Apparently, the Trinidad and Tobago Cancer Society put out a release signed by Dr. Asante LeBlanc. I extend my sincerest apologies to the Ministry of Health for any misunderstandings stemming from the recent submission to the Joint Select Committee. Regrettably, certain aspects of my remarks may have been misconstrued to an attack. Further reflection and subsequent consultation with oncology professionals, I realized that some of the information I referenced may have been incomplete. I acknowledge this oversight and express my genuine remorse for any unintentional consequences that may have arisen as a result. I wish to emphasize my deep regret and admiration for the dedicated professionals and healthcare support teams working tirelessly in the field of oncology throughout Trinidad and Tobago. The unwavering commitment to combating cancer, often amongst challenging circumstances and limited resources, deserves the utmost recognition and appreciation. I extend my heartfelt apologies to the Minister and the entire team, excuse me, leading the fight against cancer in Trinidad and Tobago. It was never my intention to cause harm or discord. I sincerely regret any distress or inconvenience that my statements may have caused. Moving forward, I remain committed to fostering constructive dialogue and collaboration in our shared mission to address the challenges posed by cancer in our countries. On this underneath, Dr. Asante LeBlanc, Chairman of the Trinidad and Tobago Cancer Society. It is dated March 21st, 2024 for immediate release.
Interesting.
Well,
I always like when people can apologize almost unreservedly and write it.
Well, I did tell her during the GSC that your statements are quite alarming and profound.
Yeah. I'm happy for that. I'm happy that someone took she took that step to apologize.
If you see the minister's comment under the release that he shared with me, I shall not share.
Yeah, I just got it too.
Oh God!
I wonder if he sent it for me. I normally get a message from him now every week, you know. Oh, he did send it. He did send it to me too. Okay. Morning, Minister Dayalsingh.
Morning, Minister Dayalsingh.
Is the colloquial informal comment after?
Yes.
I won't share it because he didn't. I don't think he wanted that share.
No. That is not part of. That is not part.
No, that's not part of it. That was just because he's close to us. I didn't get the impression that her comments were, because she did say that this is not an attack on the minister and the ministry, and that they're doing great work, and that they are doing all they can given the resources there. She said that after, but of course, and I'm not blaming the media here. I'm saying sometimes it was a 1 hour and 45-minute interface. It started at 10:15 and ended at 12 o'clock. The media can't carry everything.
Yes.
So the media will pull out certain parts and they'll grab a headline that they know is catchy because they're in a competitive environment. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing also. You understand? So they're not going to carry, because I didn't see them carry. She also praised Minister Dayalsingh and the team for the hard work they're doing. You understand? So sometimes the translation between the event and the translation and what is carried in the media is not a full picture always. Very often it is. And so she's, I guess, doing some damage control because the minister responded with 2 press releases yesterday countering what she would have said.
I honestly believe Minister Dayalsingh has been doing a pretty good job as Minister of Health. That's my belief. But Andrea said something that I also think I picked up from the press conference, that it wasn't last week Tuesday that the commissioner met. I think it was this Tuesday. That's how I read it.
Yeah, it's this Tuesday.
Yes, I think so. So Andre, thanks. It was this Tuesday he was fired. A week later than our interview. Not the
Beauty
same
culture, we've reached out. I have reached out to 2 former commissioners to talk on the SSA matter, and they've both declined. And senior TTPS personnel cannot comment until if they get clearance from the police leadership to comment.
You need to get approval.
Yeah, so that's to answer your questions. Now we haven't been trying.
Yeah.
You saying former Commissioner Griffith don't want to talk?
No, I said in addition to him.
Oh.
Because Beauty Culture asked besides him.
Oh. Yeah, well, McDonald Jacob has been consistent. He has not spoken. He will message from time to time to correct something because he listens. I know that for sure.
He doesn't want, and I understand he doesn't want to be dragged into the political arena because very often he gets political. And he's trying to establish a professional career outside. He's a highly trained man anyway, So he's trying to be careful what he says because then it goes
Yeah.
in a particular way, and then they can construe it as a particular slant, and then you know what happens after that.
Yeah.
So
we do have some calls, gentlemen, so let's take some of them. A lot of calls coming through actually a short while ago. Good morning, caller.
Hey, morning, Paul Richard, Wendell.
Good morning, Mr.
Ragoobarsingh, and Steve Khan. Morning.
Morning.
Morning, Mr.
Paul
Patrick.
Richard just said something this morning, and I agree with you 100%. A gang have a purpose. When people hear the word gang, they just figure a gang is a negative thing. It's have a gang of people in the parliament, it's a gang of workers on the street, it's a gang of people all about gang. We have a purpose for a gang. What is the purpose of these gangs in Trinidad and Tobago that affecting people?
May I put a pin?
Huh?
Let me put a pin. A gang,
Yeah.
in the sense of the Anti-Gang Act, is a group of people, 2 or more people, gathered for the purpose of committing criminal activity. So I don't know that.
Well, that's not the correct way about
unless you have information I don't have. The other areas you've ascribed gang activity to may be a bit questionable.
I can remember when I was joined ministry, I worked for back. It had a fella on the gang. He was called the ganger. But he had a group of people to work.
That's an official position in local government too. That's an official position in local government too, eh?
Right. A ganger is a leader who lead. But like right now, like the leadership in these gangs, like something wrong with them because they can't control their men. You understand? Because in certain parts of the world, like in Los Angeles, the gang capital of the world, them fellas organize gangs and they're doing big business. They open car wash, they open all kinds of things with gangs. So what's the purpose of gang in Trinidad? To shoot down people, kill
Under
people.
the ones who will fall under the Anti-Gang Act are the ones who come together either permanently or temporarily, because as I said earlier on, it is not, as I understand it, as organized and long-lived, because they know very well that the law has a particular intention. So if you, 1, admit you're a gang member, and 2, stay together too long, there's a higher potential for you being caught as being part of a gang. So gangs are more loosely structured these days, and their intention, Mr. Patrick, is to commit criminal acts of all types.
For what I see, that's the only purpose a gang in Trinidad and Tobago?
Well,
No.
the criminal acts are usually in aid of getting drugs, illegal weapons, and or money together. It's usually financially driven and for power and domination in a particular area.
Yeah, why read where there are some gangs who have legitimate businesses? You know
I was going to say something about getting in so much trouble, but I didn't.
Right. So, Pastor Brown, when I sit down and I looking through the papers, when I reading the whole article, there was a long article with Pastor Brown, where they asking Mr. Best and this one, that, and that one, that, and nobody, they asking the question, how all these equipment use the army camp and everyone Mr. Pastor Brown land. And like nobody want to answer about that, the excavator, the generator, the truck, everything. How Pastor Brown receive all this land, by the way, in Cartel? 15 acres.
I heard the name of a former minister, a particular former minister called.
Hello?
Yes, we hear you, Mr. Patrick. Go ahead.
Yeah. All this land, and then the army equipment, national security equipment, and on the land for months, they say, and nobody could have given a complaint. Something wrong with that whole thing and all this. They need to really investigate that thing more detailed. Because like it had a gang in the SSA, in a church too. But in Trinidad and Tobago, all these things have happened, boys. All these things have happened. All right.
Okay, Mr. Patrick.
Thank you, Mr. Patrick. Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey guys, good morning. This is Lincoln here.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, welcome back.
Yeah, well, no, not back.
Hey,
but,
Lincoln asked me yesterday, yes?
I heard. I was in LA, and I'm sure you all know the time difference. It had me that I had to get up at 3 o'clock to listen to the program, and the jet lag just had me all messed up.
Yeah, but them clubs is open. Sure, clubs is no same.
But I didn't. I wasn't able to get up at that hour.
But those establishments are open at all hours, so you should be up.
I want to compliment. I know we have a regular LA listener, but guys, that takes a bit of diligence for that LA man to be up at 3 o'clock every morning to listen to all your program. We need to recognize that. I've never really considered it before, based on the time zone difference. Gentlemen, my contribution, I understand you, Wendell, Richard, you wanted my contribution on the SSA, and I have so much to say about that. But I think I would just start and leave it at the dangerous aspect that nobody has talked about so far. Have we recognized and acknowledged the danger of having too many people from the army heading different organizations in this country? And it goes for any organization, but right now...
I don't understand what you mean by that. Could you clarify what you mean by that, please?
Yeah, I'm not following that.
Okay. Work with me a little bit. Roger Best was a military person. Who I assume spoke to Captain Gary Griffith from a military person.
They were the same batch, not so?
Yes. Let me start at the beginning.
Yeah, get to the point again.
If the pastor had qualifications in the things that he said he was qualified to do, there would have been no need for him to be deputized as an SRP. He could have been hired by the SSA based on his qualifications. The reason he had to be deputized as an SRP is that he did not have qualifications to be hired directly from the SRP. They could not cover their tracks with that just so. So they had to be deputized. He had to be deputized. So best talk to Gary, who make him an SRP police.
Put a pause there. I don't know if it was accurate, but Pastor Brown told us that he had communications with as far back as Stephen Williams. He didn't say he was hired by him. He didn't say he was hired by him. He also said he had interactions with McDonald Jacob.
I don't know if that is accurate. You know what he said he had interaction with McDonald Jacob? And nobody listens to what the man says. He passed him in a corridor and asked him for a bus route pass. I would limit the interaction he said he had with McDonald Jacob.
But let me ask you this then, because the timeline from your suggestion is not adding up. Pastor Brown told us, while acting on behalf of the SSA, he went into a street and got information in relation to persons who were eventually charged under the Dynasty Hall situation, right? Remember that, Wendell?
Yes, correct.
That predated Gary Griffith.
I am speaking to him being deputized as a SRP.
Right, but what I'm saying is, if he was working for the SSA, under the NCTR case, he would have predated Gary Griffith.
What is not clear, Lincoln? What is not clear, Lincoln, is that how far back he was engaged with the SSA. That is what is not clear.
How far back he say he was doing things. He could lie about anything he want to lie about.
Yes, that's true.
When his ID was officially assigned to him, which is 2021, which is
you're right. That's Gary Griffith.
Gary Griffith.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's what I could speak about. What evidence I have. You see what he said? He could say anything he wants to say.
That is true.
Right?
That is true.
I'm speaking to black and white. His ID was issued in 2021, which is under Gary Griffith's tenureship.
And that's the only ID we've seen.
That's the only ID we've seen. Right? So best get him into the police in 2021 to bring him back into the FSA. Also, best talk to somebody in charge of the army to get machinery, to get up there to clean land, too much people in the military assigned to high-powered places in this country that it could be overrun in a drop of a hat. And we
Well,
not
you said,
about
did you
that.
say best talk to somebody in the army to get the machinery up there?
The machinery can't go up there unless somebody talk to somebody in the military.
Well,
Machinery
Mr.
can't go up
Best,
there.
Major Best has said, we have to put the information we know there, that he did not authorize equipment going up to the church ground.
She can't authorize it. She's not in the army to authorize it. Somebody else has to authorize it.
That's what we
You
said
have
too.
one person in the military who is best and another person who could authorize it. He don't have to authorize it.
Okay.
But the machinery reach up there, not so.
Yes.
Maybe don't play smart with foolishness, no, man.
No, you
But
can say what
these
you want
things
to.
are
You
not-
don't get the lawyer letter.
These things are not unusual, Lincoln. I know Port of Spain corporation equipment reach
unusual. I'm speaking to
far-flung
the
parts of
nepotism
this country
and
already.
the power of the close-knit network of people in the military being placed in high-powered offices. Why we don't have somebody, a senior person from the police, being assigned to these positions? Why is always military? So the
Because
police,
Lincoln, I think I could answer that. You know.
I am speaking as a former military personnel. I am seeing too much nepotism of bringing back these recycled military people, and I want to dare say call them geriatric military people, and alienating these young bright minds that coming out of the university, all who doing criminology, all who doing things, alienating these people, and just bringing back as a recycling a set of old military men and giving them power.
Can I make a joke with you?
We are seeing now where it is being corrupted by church, by them being body, and everybody know everybody, and everybody corrupted, and the system is being corrupted. I mean,
Lincoln, you might be right. Yeah? You might be right. I think statistics probably on your side with that comment you just made there too. And I could speak about plenty.
When have we had a police, former commissioner of police, assigned to the SSA or assigned to any organization of secrecy of intelligence? It's always
I think I agree with you in part that in a small country, after a while, one has to watch any potential for corruption of any state agency or any agency. But generally, the mindset has been, I'm not saying it still stands, has been that there has been a lot more integrity associated with the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force than with the police service.
And that is now being corrupted.
I don't know that's been corrupted. You're saying that, but I don't know that. But that is potentially the reason why there's a tendency to use retired TT Defense Force personnel more than TT Police Service, because in the past there have been more respect for persons who came out of the TT regiment.
And even in this situation where the Prime Minister clearly have spotted some kind of corruption or nepotism in the SSA, he bring back he bring in a next former military.
You're making a statement that you can't substantiate. I don't know the Prime Minister said he spotted any nepotism.
The Prime Minister has definitely spotted something wrong. Why he sent Best to leave?
Yeah, but you call it nepotism? Be accurate with your words.
Okay, if you want to nitpick with me with words, Paul.
I think Lincoln, what he did reference.
What I mean. I'm sure the country understand what I mean when I said corruption in the SI. Let me not call it nepotism. Some kind of wrongdoing.
Something went wrong.
Well, he said it was a threat to national security. And of course, the investigative reports indicate the large percentile of people from a particular church who were obviously military aligned people across the national security infrastructure. They had a high percentage of people in the national security infrastructure at that particular church. But that's what the investigative reporting is indicating or alleging.
Also, Richard, I heard something the other day in the news, and I didn't hear only talk about it, that people from the church, because I predicted that was going to happen too, and people from the church, police went and take back FULs and weapons from people from the church who were not assigned to the SSA.
We
Am I
haven't heard
correct
that.
in that statement?
Where you
I
get
haven't
that?
heard that.
I haven't seen that.
But it makes sense.
On TV6. I saw a clipping of that on my timeline.
Well, it
So you
makes
wanna go
sense
back
given the
a
fact
couple
that
of
they've certainly rescinded Pastor Brown's SRP status. They may have rescinded other SRP statuses also.
No. It's not people who were assigned to the SSA. People who were not assigned to the SSA, from members of the church, FULs were revoked.
Oh? Well, I'm not aware of that.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know that story, Lincoln.
Yes. And I want to believe that they said that the weapons was given back to the SSA. So they had personal FULs and SSA weapons. That is the story I remember getting on my timeline. I wanted to save it, but it come off so fast.
But how could they have had SSA weapons if they were just members of the church?
That is the question that I am asking. And if that is found to be true, Prime Minister know what he was doing.
Prime Minister, we know that Dr. Oli wouldn't make that drastic move without solid facts.
Prime Minister, whatever intelligence he got, he circumvented a big bacchanal in this country. Right? And I want to compliment him for that. Well done in your
Lincoln.
Yes?
He circumvented more than one bacchanals.
Well, true that. I definitely agree with you there, Paul.
More than one. As a matter of fact, it is 2 other bacchanals.
I definitely agree with you there, Paul. But I was because of the timeline that I was going to predict that all the next shoe that is going to drop is how much people from that church get FULs under Gary Griffith.
This is a landmark day. Rena is saying, I'm assist you dominating the show. Give Paul a chance to talk.
Oh gosh. Rena want Paul to talk? Look at
Wow.
Paul?
What prayer Rena saying today?
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Lincoln.
Thank you, Lincoln.
Lincoln, you help out Paul this morning. Thanks.
Rena, you said that. I never thought I've seen that sort of statement. Or you think I line what Rena said.
But let's yeah, give her a little highlight there. This place is so anyway, I just can't wait to take our Easter break right now, no?
All right, let's grab some calls coming through. Good morning.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
First, I want to say amen, hallelujah, that the Pastor Brown was finally removed from the SSA. Thank you, Commissioner.
Is he not?
No.
Sounds so familiar. Sorry about that.
Always mix up. Oh God, Paul, you this mix up my. Oh God, Paul, please don't call no name. When in the night, I tell people don't call no name or they go get in trouble. Morning,
just
Zina.
say babes. Learn to say babes.
Oh God, Wendell, you know it good.
It spans everything and everybody. Just say babes.
Right. Just say babes. Oh God, well yes, at last the pastor was removed, Lord. But I hope he don't keep us waiting because he promised to call names. I hope he ain't have we waiting like Dorothy. Because
you're not going to hear another peep out of that pastor. Trust me.
I waited to see if he going and jump out like Gigi and start to go on every radio station and TV. I waiting. But I know he is saying one word because his credibility has been destroyed.
You want to bet, Miss Henry, you want to bet he end up on a political platform for the opposition?
I won't be surprised. Because remember, the leader of the opposition
that I said so, right?
Was telling him, call name. So, who knows? I wouldn't be surprised.
He did say, when speaking to us, that he supported one candidate, which he initially identified as UNC, then subsequently amended to CP. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, well, let's wait and see. let me see if he going on talk, because I can't believe somebody who was in a unit like that could be coming out and saying this and saying that. Really? Well, wait to see. And I hope we have to wait like Dorothy, because you're threatening if this one get fired. Look, you gone. You of all people was dismissed. So let me see if he going on talk. And Wendell, I heard your contribution the other morning on I-95. Very good contribution with that disrespectful.
Concerning Paul colleague, I would listen. One of the most disrespectful people that have in the parliament.
Boy, I can't believe this thing.
You're freelancing elsewhere? That's what you're doing your honing?
No, I don't know. He get catch.
You honing?
He get catch.
Oh, God.
You honing?
Wendell, I blow your
You honing?
You get catch.
We know on the radio on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You're honing.
No, but
You're
listen,
honing.
when somebody called in and made a contribution, right? And I'm listening to it. I said, nah, I had to join in that. I was surprised I got you.
Yes, I heard
and
you.
I got you. And I
and you made it very good. Let me tell you something. Based on the question you all asked about the TTPS, I voted already, but I will say no, they're not on top of it, because I cannot understand when they went and dug up that backyard in Valsain. You all end up going. They should have dig. I mean, they can't remember Christina Gardens or what? Remember when they found Gaylan Benson? If they had only dig up that lettuce patch, they would have never find Joseph Scarrett. So thanks to the officers then had the wisdom. You dig the whole blinking backyard. So all you had no right to be going back there. They should have dig it up immediately when they found that skeleton. And I want to find out how, I mean, you did an autopsy and they could have never say, or they didn't find out in the autopsy it was a male skeleton. Really?
Ms. Dego Martin, let me tell you something. I don't believe that second part of the story. They were convinced it was a woman before and convinced it was Hannah. I don't believe that second part, that they ain't sure who is his man. I don't believe it.
Wendell has struck that song, money pass. But my thing is, I think we need to call in the FBI for this. Trust me. This saga is going too far. And I heard Steven Spielberg is flying in to do a movie. You'll brace all yourself. Have a wonderful
We don't need Steven Spielberg. We have Richard.
We have Richard Ragoobarsingh.
Regina is streaming on Netflix now, starring Michael Sherry.
Yes, you'll have a good weekend.
Shirley, sorry. Shirley.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Shirley is now streaming as at midnight, featuring Regina King and starring in our own Michael Sherry. So you all check it out, please.
Okay, nice.
I saw pictures of him on the red carpet earlier this week. Very proud of him.
How you could watch skeletal remains, determine immediately it is that of a female, and then a week later you're in sure it might be a man?
Well, unless, because there are very telltale signs in forensics of male skeletal remains versus female. They're very, very different, and they're telltale.
Yes, especially the pelvic
areas larger with women.
Yeah.
Skull size is usually larger. Jaw size is usually smaller. You know, there are several telltale signs that any proper, decent pathologist will tell immediately.
Yeah.
If it's a male or female.
That is why there's a spanner. There's a spanner in the wheel.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too.
Yeah. Tripping his boat might be a man. Give me a break.
And the caller is right. I don't know that you would go and dig up and find skeletal remains in one part and not dig in other parts to find at least a weapon or old clothing or something else that may be associated with what may be a crime.
But they also said they found clothing that associated it with a female. So what are they telling us? No.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Yeah, there's somebody trying to throw a spanner in the arm.
Yeah. Never done
there are two ways about that. I don't that, and it's just so odd. It's just so odd. Way left. I mean, you take the bones to the Forensic Sciences Center. Right? The Forensic Sciences Center. Where they suppose they're the best trained people who we've never had a problem with before. And they can't tell us they make a mistake, it may have been a man.
Yeah.
No, me ain't buy that.
Yeah, I don't buy that.
Not to mention, of course, the main issue is that a female was missing from 7 years ago.
Yes, and so many of the neighbors
So
could have.
are you trying to say is more than one murder take place or death take place? Nah, that is old talk.
Yeah, it is.
But then who was the reporter who brought it tonight?
People who talk about lab with explosives and all kind of thing. Same people.
Always check the source. Always check the source of the story. Some sources that just strips and move on. Fast.
Yep.
Morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, darling.
Listen, though, darling, you see, when I want to talk, all it is fine, all I want to call somebody else. Steve, he went away yesterday, do what he had to do, and when he come back, he jump and call Doctor, whoever she name. Anyhow, you know why I call this morning? I listened to all morning, I didn't go to
Dr.
call you.
LeBlanc.
You see when you're taking other people. For me, I am dealing good with that. I thank God it's Cheryl and it ain't nobody else. So more than mistake about it. But
you have your whole husband home and you worry about what you're talking about?
Oh yeah now.
Or your bold face, yes?
And yes, and it's the same way I think I hear you yesterday that I like the boss of people. Who like the boss of people more than you? You think I didn't hear you? I say yes.
After what is about,
I was giving only a break this morning because maybe only have somebody else to call. So I was keeping myself quiet there. See, I ain't even vote. Well, let's need a break, a rest sometimes,
You
Right.
guys need a rest? It's full moon.
It's full moon. You know about full moon and all that, your planter?
No, but your moon.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
Your planter, what you planting?
But you know as a planter, you of all people know as a planter.
Must be a ganja planter.
Wendell done talk about a big roti the other day.
Roti, there's plant roti. I never know it's plant roti. You see how, Richard, you see how perverted he is?
Well, yeah. Where you planting? BBL?
Cassava.
Are we meeting today?
I can't.
And let me beg all you now, please. All you, if my father want to say what they say in the police service, all you give her a chance to catch herself now. Oh God, give us some support now. Give us some moral support.
But we did this morning.
And all
we defended somebody who said that they should do something about the hard place murders. We defend her and the police, Wendell?
Yes.
We did. We said the talking stripping is about what the police do about that.
Run out this morning. You think I reading it? Run out of God. No. Run out of God. And yes, I agree with you, Paul. She need this, she need that, oh God.
But it is gentle advice.
Take under your wing and go.
I have offered.
And you find she pretty. Take her under your wing.
I actually have offered a more than one occasion for free. Pro bono.
You offer that?
For free. I have offered on more than one occasion for free.
Oh, so it's just so you going about offering things all over the place.
What do you think you get?
On the down low.
How you get?
Well, I don't like nobody talking on my business.
Oh, good luck, Lauren. Jump out again.
Good morning, Richard. Richard is all static. He just oh God.
Guys, morning. Did I tell you all CJ is coming to Trinidad soon? And
God, your mouth bigger.
She's coming to Trinidad. Well, let's keep that a secret.
To take us all out. She wants to take the entire breakfast show out.
She's taking us to all out.
She taking us out, all of us out, the breakfast show. And
You
Zena
know-
may be there,
you know
may or
who
may not
all
be
out,
there, I
right?
ain't sure.
I ain't think she taking us all out at all.
You better be here.
It
All
won't
right.
be all out. It will be anywhere else but all
Boy.
out.
Thanks, Zena.
All of us is one family.
Richard,
Yeah.
love is really a walk, yes?
Richard? Richard?
Yes, Zena.
So now that Wendell blow the cover, you know what play we coming to.
But it's Richard Clay she wants to take us to.
And yeah,
Tickets also available. Zena, tickets available online.
Listen, have your cocktails already, yeah? You have to tell me that. I know who I just deal with. You understand? I don't even deal with Richard with that. My places we booked already, so don't try that to come to go there.
Zena,
Right.
look Finbar Collins want to go out with you too.
Who's in Babs Collins?
Like he message there, he wants to go with you too when you're going.
St. Babs Collins? What? I have to meet you before and interview you. I don't just go out to strange men.
All men are strange, you know, Zena. I don't know if you know that, especially when you know with them.
Strange in their ways.
All right. Thank you, Zena.
How are you running, Maso?
So we run out of time.
Afraid letter from what the place name? Oh, go on.
All right.
Right, you all have a wonderful weekend.
All right. You too, Zena. Of course, the Minister of Health has agreed to be on the program on Monday. So we would have the Honorable Terence Dialsing on the program on Monday.
Oh, Bacchanal.
Oh, Bacchanal. All right. All right, gentlemen. Have a great weekend.
Is that time already? What the hell? Yes, well, it's 7:59. All right, folks, have a wonderful weekend. Be careful on the nation's roads. And remember, look out for the young ones. Remember to let go and let God.
Have a fantastic. Okay, sorry. Have a fantastic day, whatever you do. It's the weekend, people. The weekend has begun, and of course, enjoy it. And of course, just remind you, theater is on April 13th and 14th. I'll tell you about tickets next week. I think tickets will be on sale from next week. It's at Queen's Hall. Love is a walk. But look forward to it. I am so looking forward to doing this play. This is a play that I am really enjoying being on stage. Have a fantastic one, whatever you do. Remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health.
All right, Richard, thank you. Good morning, Concerned Parents Movement of TNT. Good morning to you, Elizabeth. All right, let's get